Welcome, guys, once again to the MMOs.com podcast. Episode 128 here with Altay, joined this week by...
Omer, and that is quite a radio voice you got going on over there.
Oh, I
feel like you should talk like that all the time.
I probably should, but it requires a lot of optimization.
And we're not very optimal today, so take us with the weekly raid, all right? Get us started.
This week's weekly raid, guys, is where are you on the MMORPG economic hierarchy? So, what I mean by this, guys, is, we all know the rich guy in our friend group when he plays a game. The guy who plays the auction house, the merchant, the crafter. And we always know the guy who just grinds mobs. And we know that guy when you walk into town who's always like, please give me some gil. Please give me some gold. Like the beggar. So there's a hierarchy often in these MMORPGs. And this is something unique, I think, to MMORPGs and what makes them great. That we see kind of this human variety expressed in these games. Summer, what do you think of this? What is your thoughts on this?
I think it's actually very interesting from both just talking about where you are in the hierarchy, how you've played other MMORPGs and where you've been in other MMORPGs. But more importantly, I think it's a really cool look into almost like humanity. Because there's always this concept of like inequality in real life. We talk about people being born into like higher classes, being born to privilege, the silver spoon in their mouth. And in a way, MMORPGs, at least in the past, before a lot of the microtransactions and pay-to-win stuff, was a pretty much an equal playing field, right, for the most part. Outside of the gray markets, the way people could buy and sell accounts and stuff, it was largely an even playing field. So you can kind of see where everyone from all walks of life kind of ended up on the hierarchy. And there was always a few people on every server, in every game, in every MMORPG that were just filthy rich. I'm talking like literally Final Fantasy 14 example. Like there are people with like 10 billion gil on the server. Like they max out all their vendors and on their bank account, on their character, literally maxed out gil. In Ultima Online, there's always that guy with the super rare hat on and really cool shit. The guy with party hats in RuneScape, and they're just loaded with money. And everyone else is just so poor. And it's almost like our society, how rich and poor are divided in real life. It kind of gets reflected in MMORPGs as well. Obviously, some people don't have a lot of time, but it's not always the guy who spends the most time in an MMORPG that becomes the wealthiest. In fact, I feel a lot of people that spend the most time end up spending a lot of that time grinding monsters. And that's like the worst way to get rich in an MMORPG.
Yeah.
For me, I'm usually on the top end of that scale, whether it's World of Warcraft, Ultima Online, Final Fantasy 14. In almost any MMORPG I play pretty seriously, I almost start off, I start off obviously grinding mobs to get higher level, but then I find myself playing the auction house. In World of Warcraft, I remember flipping, there was a book you had to buy as a warrior or get from Dire Maul, which would let you get the Sarar's or Quelling Blade. I think it was Quel'Thuz's blade. Yes, Quel'Thuzarar it was called anyway. That blade, and then in order to get that, you had to get a drop from Dire Maul, which is unbelievably rare. I would actually buy and sell that book multiple times in the auction house to make tons of gold. In Final Fantasy 14, most recently, I've made over 700 million gil, which is equivalent to about $2,000 of money you could sell on player auctions like today, just running a casino in the game. And I started my business in Final Fantasy 14 with a small loan of 1 million gil from a friend, actually, and that actually did happen.
You're Donald Trump. You're Donald Trump.
I literally got a loan of 1 million gil from a friend, and I used that to actually play the auction house a little bit, and I made like 10 million buying and selling a few pieces of furniture, which are very illiquid items in the game. That they sell for a wide price range, big gaps between buying and selling, but they might take like a week or two to sell. So I got my start there. I made like 8 million there, and then I started running my casino, and I made hundreds of millions of gil. So that's me in most games. I love playing the market in video games because I find it so interesting how you can buy and sell items from other people, find information mismatches. You see some guy in town advertising an item, like holy shit, he's selling the item like half the price. I know I can sell it for twice the price in like a week. Like it's just so fascinating for me, and that's where I usually stand on my economical hierarchy. Where do you stand?
It's really interesting. MMORPGs, like they really reflect like something deep down, because like you were saying earlier. In MMORPGs, you don't have to go to the bathroom, right? You don't die from like being out in the cold, right? So there's no economic pressure on you. Yet we see wide differences in people's position. Like in this weekly raid, I talked about a friend of ours who played WoW since launch, right? And he was always broke. He never had money. And then we started playing, and like in a month, we had way more money than he did, right? Mm-hmm. So it just kind of reflects your priorities, I guess, in the game world. And I always find myself somewhat similar to you. I wouldn't put it near the top though. We're basically independent merchants. We can basically access anything in the game. Like we can have the biggest houses in the game, right? Because of our playstyle. But we're never quite at the top. So in the article, I put guild leaders at the top, because not only do they command vast resources like we can, but they command people. They can command people in raids, PvE, or more importantly, in PvP. They can command groups of people and order them what to do, and command them, lead them, and that's power. Like that. Perhaps in the future, like good managers or executives will be culled from like young kids who like imagine like 12-year-olds who run their own Minecraft server, or like they're at the top of their guilds or whatever, right? Those people have what it takes to lead. And people like us, merchants, traders, flippers, we have certain, attributes, and it gets displayed in the game. So it's really fascinating, and I'm actually kind of sad that a lot of MMORPGs today kind of restrict trade, like BDO. So you don't get to see all that. So what do you think of that, by the way?
I think it's a great shame. I mean, if you're limiting trade and stuff, and obviously they do this to combat botting, but it's such a bad way to address this problem, because in order to like solve a problem that doesn't affect 90% of players, or like most of the casual players don't even care that RMT happens in the background, and in order to stop that, they're really hurting the player experience for the vast majority of players, especially the casual players. So honestly, this is what I like about MMORPGs a lot too. There's no one way to play a game. Everyone's got their own goals. If you're playing Dota, you're playing Overwatch, there's one goal. You beat the enemy team. That's literally the objective of the game, and you work towards doing that. How you get there obviously is a little bit different. In MMORPGs, you can have your own goals. When I played Final Fantasy 14, for the longest time, my goal was to have be super rich. I logged in just to run my casino and make tons of money because I wanted to buy the biggest house in the server. That was my goal. I got the biggest house, by the way. We have a large house in Gilgamesh, and since then, my goals have shifted. Now I'm just aiming for some gear, playing casually. But there's always different things you can work on. One of my friends was always striving to be the first person to get to floor 200 in Palace of the Dead. They never actually ended up doing it because they gave up after a while, but they got to level floor 188 or something, which puts them number 4 on the North American ladder, which is still phenomenal. But there's so many ways to play an MMORPG, whether it's through the trading game, the economy game, mount game. I know people in my free company that spend all their time in the game not raiding. They're not going for the late game gear, which many people view as the objective over the late game. They play it to get all the mounts, to get all the triple triad cards, to get all the pets, to get all the achievements. There's so many ways to play an MMORPG, and that's what makes this genre amazing, I think. And that's why, for the longest time, I always say, developers shouldn't be so concerned about combat and core gameplay. This combat element is a distraction. I agree, combat should be fun, but there's so much more in an MMORPG than just the combat. And I find a lot of my friends, when they talk about MMOs, they end up saying they play for everything else. They play for the community. They play to play with their friends. They play for everything else they can do in the MMORPG. If you want gameplay, you want combat, you got to go play Battlerite, go play Dota, go play League. MMOs are so fun because of everything else in there. And I know I took that a little bit to a rant over there, but take it away.
Oh, okay. So I basically, we do see a lot of games today kind of limiting these aspects that we love. But on the bright side, there are a lot of games currently in early access or development, I should say, that are trying to bring this back, the sandbox element. And I listed 3 here, which you're going to laugh at, but here we go. Star Citizen, I know. Chronicles of Valeria, I know. And Dual Universe. So these are all sandbox-style MMORPGs trying to kind of bring back this ability, at least, where people can end up on different, spectrum of the, economic ladder here. So hopefully these games will do well, and it will release, and we can, get this experience again.
Caster Kita made a good comment about not being able to PvP your way to riches or fame in a lot of MMORPGs, and that I think that's something where we lost a lot as well along the way. If you look at old school games that were like sandbox stuff, like EVE Online, stuff like Ultima Online, I think PvPing and murdering people and being infamous as the murderer or the killer was something you could accomplish in older games. But a lot of games have developed away from that, a bit more towards a casual style of play, and PvP has become more of a game rather than a dangerous activity or something to be feared in the game. It becomes an arena hobby, which is still its own thing and interesting, but we did kind of lose that way of playing the game, whereas you could actually get rich before, because when you're playing Ultima, you're playing EVE Online, there's always a sense of danger and dread of being ganked when you're you could be farming it, you could be killing shit in a dungeon, killing dragons, and 2 PKs can come gank you and just take all the shit. You worked for an hour getting all this gold, some guy will just murder you and take it. And I think it added a lot to the game personally, but we've lost that, unfortunately, and I don't think it's going to come back. I think more and more games are going more and more, less PvP heavy.
So you don't think the games I listed are going to help bring it back?
Dual Universe, I don't know. Dual Universe is almost like Second lifestyle game. If you see some videos, people program their own content
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the game. I don't know how
Second
much
Life
like actual.
slash Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Citizen might, but again, Star Citizen is still, I don't know what to expect in Star Citizen just yet. It's some ideas right now and some beta builds of features they want. But if Star Citizen can capture like that Eve experience of hardcore elements, I think that'd be phenomenal. That'd be awesome.
Another quick point I wanted to emphasize before we move on. So I think we're both kind of the merchant class, I would say, the independent merchant class. Like we are independently wealthy in games. But what do you think of what is it about us that prevents us from being the guild leader? Like I think, for example, if we were the kind of people that at a younger age when we played EverQuest, Ultima Online, World of Warcraft, if we were the guild leader type, for example, we could do a much better job streaming. We could do a much better job, like leading this community. Build a bigger community. So I think that is the most important skill. And I remember reading an article recently where an EVE Online commander, like a corporation or alliance leader, he commanded basically 1,000 people in battle. And as he was speaking live, there were 3 people translating his words into Russian, German, and whatever, right? And then he interviewed for a job, and then he mentioned his EVE Online position. He was an alliance leader. And the guy who was interviewing him happened to be in one of the corporations under his alliance. And he got the job because of that. Like, how amazing is it to think that, like, just different aspects of human ability can be captured in these games? And we lack it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and we lack it,
amazing.
obviously,
I think so too. I don't think I could be a guild leader.
Yeah.
It requires a different skill set and a different amount of discipline and focus to be able to lead people. And not just leading people, it's organizing people as well.
Yeah.
There are a lot of dead guilds in games, right? But then there are a lot of smaller, more vibrant guilds. You don't need to have a big guild to be active, right? And it takes a certain quality of people to nurture a guild, because it's not just a one-person job. You need to have officers that actually care about the guild, that are willing to log in daily and take care of their things. I know people in my free company, for example, like I'm not very active in my guild at all in terms of participating in a few of the guild events we do. But the people in my guild, people will log in, the officers would log in and activate like the guild buffs, which you can only activate if you're an officer, right? So they would just log in just to activate those. They'll make sure those are always on, and they do a lot of the administrative things that you kind of need. And as a guild leader, you have to find people that are willing to do this for you. It's delegation. It's an interesting skill set, and I wish I had it personally, because again, like you said, it's probably the most valuable skill set.
Yeah, definitely.
You can learn in these games, and they're the rarest people as well, obviously.
This is kind of a side tangent, but like when people say like CEOs are overpaid, like that skill set, I feel like to manage other high efficient people. Like remember, a CEO has to manage other officers, right? That skill is so rare that I don't know. Like I don't know what it's worth, but I do know from my time playing MMORPGs that it's a very rare skill.
Interesting. CEO pay is linked to MMORPG leadership right there. I'm curious if maybe in the future they can do a study like what percent of big guild leaders, like in a game, active guild leaders, end up like where they go in life. Like, do they become unemployed? Do they become like CEOs? Like, I mean, we like to think that like the big guilds, the leaders of those guilds become like these big shots, right? But maybe they become like they work at the grocery store. Who knows? Like, I'm curious if that leadership skill actually translates into like real world achievement. I mean, I think it does though.
I think it does too. If you're like in like a developed country, right? Like, and you had opportunity. Yeah. But I do think a lot of people who have those skills, perhaps they live in a place, or because of chance, they just never had a chance to put those skills to real use, like in the real world. So which is a shame. I feel like a lot of people. I feel the world loses out because those people don't get a chance to put their skills to use in the real world.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep. I think there was an article about like your video game skill has a measurable impact on your IQ.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how scientifically accurate that was, but it seemed pretty. Being good at multiplayer video games,
I saw that,
is linked to higher intelligence. Actually, and the only reason I linked this to you is because they actually used one of our screenshots.
Oh, really?
So that's Take a look. Look at this article. I just linked it to you. I linked it in the chat.
Is it the POLS one? Exploring.
It's sciencetrends.com.
Oh, well, I have a link.
Good at multiplayer video games, linked to higher intelligence study finds.
I have the actual study open right now on stream. I'll link this in chat. It's very interesting. Yeah, basically, as you described it, they specifically looked at, I believe, MOBAs, and your skill at MOBAs is actually a good reflection of your IQ, intelligence. They call it fluid intelligence. Again, I'm not a scientist. I don't know how to interpret this, but I did link it for you guys to study. But I do think this is intuitively. I believe this is true. There, from my experience, people who are good at games happen to be good at other games, and they happen to be good at other mental activities, not just games. So like math or whatever, you know. So I do believe there is a relationship there between these activities.
That sounds right, but again, we both know people that are really good at video games, but that are like complete like they have anger management problems. They have other issues that kind of stop them from being good at other things.
It stops them from being good at other things. But if those anger management issues weren't there, they probably would be high achievers.
Probably.
Yeah. So again, you could have high IQ, but then have something else blocking you from succeeding. I think success and IQ are related, but there are certainly things that keep high IQ people from being successful.
That reminds me of that screenshot that I linked earlier about the Counter-Strike play. I'm gonna see if I can dig that up. But it's I mean, I like to think that my MOBA skills, you know, my League of Legends skills carries over into real life. But it's a pleasant thought. But hopefully,
people in chat are mentioning Tyler 1. Apparently, he has over. Does he claim to have 200 IQ? I doubt he has 200 IQ, but I definitely think he's above average in IQ, just based on his.
Definitely.
Yeah, like I think if you were like Grandmaster, I don't know if he was Grandmaster actually, but I think he was very high ranked.
He was up there. He was a challenger.
Okay,
he was one of the best players.
I think
solo queue.
I think if you're challenger in League or the equivalent in any other game like Counter-Strike, Dota, you're definitely above average IQ. You have to be like it's the mental fort because at some point. Getting higher tier takes more than just mechanics. It takes the mental fortitude to keep playing, right?
Learning, adapting. Yeah. It's more than just mechanics, you know.
Definitely.
You stick with it and then adapt and learn, which kind of goes into your IQ score.
Yeah. But this art I haven't read this full article. But I do recommend. I will read this abstract at least. After the podcast because it is interesting.
That's good too. I'm more of a headline kind of guy. You know, I read the headline for that. Being good at multiplayer video games leads to higher intelligence. That's it. You know, you read the headline, bada bing, you're done. All right, you get the full story. I'm the headline kind of guy. Right. Tell me all the information headline. We move on after that.
But I will say I'm not surprised by the headline. Were you surprised or no?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't either.
Okay.
If you look at the top 0.1%, definitely not. Yeah. You know, maybe like top 10% doesn't mean shit. You know, but the top 0.1%, that's exceptional talent that gets you to get there.
All right.
I can't find the screen I was looking for, but oh well.
Right.
All right. I mean, share your thoughts where you are on the MMORPG economic hierarchy. I'm curious. Do we have a lot of people in the chat that are monster grinders? Because that's probably the biggest. You know, people that just grind monsters or they do quests dailies to get their money. And it was just so funny to always see like one of my high school friends always so broke in World of Warcraft. Like, he played this game for like years before I started playing hardcore, and he was always broke. So there are people that are perpetually broke in these games, and there are people that perpetually end up begging because of how broke they are. And there are always people that just have so much money.
Yep. All right. Any specific place you want to go? If not, I'll start. Okay. Here.
I want to take you to this loot box thing real quick because it's a very this has been a very hot topic for the last week or so.
Okay.
And Belgium obviously ruled that they want to ban loot boxes.
Wow, ban them.
No, they want an EU ban on loot boxes. Belgian minister wants an EU ban on loot boxes. And of course, the story is that the Belgian commissioner has concluded that in an investigation into loot boxing games, including Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Overwatch, the committee reached a consensus that loot boxes are indeed a form of gambling. As a result, the Belgian government will seek to have them banned throughout the European Union. And quote, this is the big money quote for me where I disagree with this policy. The mixing of money and addiction is gambling. Mixing gambling and gaming, especially at a young age, is dangerous for the mental health of a child. And that's the reasoning behind them wanting to ban loot boxes. I know everyone's going to go, hurrah, fuck loot boxes, fuck EA. We hate loot boxes. But I completely disagree with this line of thinking. You know, you could not like loot boxes, but I don't think you get government involved. It's a very sticky situation. And what really bothers me is this last part of the quote. It's dangerous for the mental health of a child. The moment you start regulating what's dangerous to the health of a child in a form of entertainment in video games is the moment you open Pandora's box. The shit like, oh, too much violence is dangerous to a child.
It is though. Health. It is. Wait, why do you think that's
to ban? Remember, they want to ban loot boxes.
Ban loot boxes. Okay, first of all, there is if you scroll up, there's an update to this article, and apparently this is the opinion of the Belgian justice minister. So he spoke ahead of a ruling stating this. So this is not an official position of the government. It is the opinion of the current Belgian justice minister.
Yes.
Okay.
Who's who led that investigation or that commission. Yes.
So I don't think there's anything contentious about what he said, that gambling can affect the mental health of a kid, nor that violence can affect the mental health of a kid. I don't know.
I don't want government regulating violence in video games. I don't want my government regulating what's allowed in my games and what's not allowed. No. That's a shitty place to be, I think.
You're right. And for example, here in America, we land the free. We have porn, right? But
God bless America.
Yes, but
non-censored porn, unlike the Japanese. That's why you can't watch Japs. Continue.
Okay, sure. But technically, kids aren't supposed to watch porn, and there's like a I am over 18 thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I think I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. I do think adults should be free to do loot boxes or watch porn or do violence, but that doesn't mean kids aren't affected by these things. Like I don't know why you would contend that kids aren't affected by these things if they are.
Because kids don't have money; they spend their parents' money. This is easily the parents are allowed to regulate their kids' spending.
Okay, but now imagine both parents work, and the kid goes into the pockets of the mom's purse and pulls out the credit.
Whatever that happened. Sure.
Now, don't you think?
So your solution is now not that the kid stole money from the parents. Your solution is you got to ban loot boxes from games for kids.
I don't want to ban loot boxes.
Less than 18.
I don't want to ban loot boxes, but for example,
you'd be 21 to buy a loot box game.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Okay, so do you have to be 21 to buy Pokemon cards too?
You got to buy 21 to go on porn, or 18 to watch porn.
So in order to buy Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you got to be 21. Anyone that supports the loot box thing, you have to be okay with saying you have to be 21 for buying Pokemon cards. No, because booster packs are loot boxes too, aren't they?
Well, I would say 18, not 21, but
18. So a kid can't take his allowance and buy Pokemon cards in your
No, the parents should buy it for them.
But the parents are the ones buying the loot boxes for them. Why can't the parents buy a loot box for their kid? But they're allowed to buy Pokemon cards for their kids.
The parent can buy. For example, I remember when when Omar and I were kids, Grand Theft Auto 3 just came out, okay? And we bought it for PS2. And I remember I was the one who bought it, okay? So I went to Circuit City, and Circuit City was still in business at this time. Mm-hmm. And I tried to buy Grand Theft Auto 3. And you know what happened? The cashier said, "This is rated M. You can't buy it. You need an adult." So you know what I did? I went to so I was working at my uncle's comic book shop at the time. So I went, and then she wasn't free. It was anyway. So I found a parent. I found a relative who was there, and she came with me to Circuit City. Okay, I gave the money, but she was next to me, and I bought it, and she approved. Now even at that age, I didn't think there was a problem with that because maybe. Okay.
But why can't kids do this for loot boxes? You seem to think like, okay, the solution for loot boxes is that you just can't have them in games that are
no. I didn't say. Okay. I said perhaps a game that's rated for. How about this? Currently, if you can drink beer in a game, like a virtual beer, like your character can drink a beer, it gets T rating minimum. You can't have an E game with beer in it. Okay.
Fine. Let's say Overwatch is teen rated. Let's talk Overwatch for a second. Right? Okay. I think Overwatch is teen anyway.
I don't know.
So. Plenty of teams play Overwatch. Should they be allowed to? Should they legally be allowed loot box in Overwatch?
So perhaps loot boxes will automatically give a game an M rating. Okay, I'm okay with that. Like I don't think it's a big deal.
That seems silly because remember the kids can. So a kid should not be allowed to buy a Pokemon card either.
Yes, I'm okay with it too.
But that's not the case today. Kids today can go to the comic book store and buy Pokemon cards, and no one's going to say shit to them.
Well, that's like a what about argument. I don't know exactly what the rule is, but you're right.
But don't you think the same logic should apply to both?
Yes, I do think yes, both. The same.
As long as you don't be consistent, say the same logic should apply to both.
The same rule should apply to both booster packs for card games as loot boxes. Yes, I agree with that.
I just feel like this is going to open Pandora's box to more regulation on violence, what's allowed in games or not. It's going to be like China. China actually says, their big problem with PUBG was that it's going to corrupt the minds of youth because it's like this very violent genre of games, these battle royale games, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want some commission studying these games saying, oh, of course they're very violent. We don't want people killing each other. Like, well, and they can use the same argument that it can be dangerous to people's minds, and that's why we have mature ratings and stuff. And now that any game that wants to be mature, this has to go through 10 other steps, which makes them unviable. When video games were labeled adult only, which was the ESRB rating, they just couldn't sell. Like no store would carry those. It was a death sentence for a game. So governments can regulate games out of existence. But if you put this adult rating on them.
Well, adult. Okay. Well, first of all, it doesn't regulate them out of existence. It just limits. If a store chooses.
Adult only games just didn't sell.
What? Well, that's up to the free market. Like, Circuit City was free to carry them. They just chose not to.
What free market? It was the government. The ratings made it near impossible to carry them and sell them.
Hold up. Playboy, which literally had nude people, right?
Yeah.
In it? Okay. Was available for sale at the newsstand, at certain newsstands. Just if a company like Walmart or Circuit City or Best Buy chooses not to carry any game with an adult label on it, that's the free market. Like, I don't understand what the problem there is.
I'm curious if there's any government involvement or ESRB rating, what they're allowed to sell or not.
Okay. Because I mean, Playboy's obviously nude, right?
Yeah, of course.
And
yeah.
and it is, and obviously people buy Playboys, right? And for decades, so obviously it's not like it's not banned or anything. But with the PUBG thing that you mentioned, I honestly I really think Tencent and the Chinese government are working in cahoots. So I don't think the Chinese government actually had any problem with PUBG. I think
you got a conspiracy theory.
I got a conspiracy. All right, everyone.
I like conspiracy theories.
All right, cue the X-Files music.
Tinfoil hats.
All right, tinfoil hats, X-Files music. Okay. Tencent tried to buy Bluehole Studios. Okay, the Korean company. Bluehole turned them down. They said, "No, you can't buy us. We don't want to sell to you." After that, China said, "Oh, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is anti-communist. It's too violent. It's bad." Okay, this was a way to try to hint to Bluehole that, hey, if you don't play ball with our boy Tencent, we're gonna ban PUBG in China. And then Bluehole got scared, right? And then they agreed to let Tencent publish the game in China. So that's news for this week. Tencent is publishing PUBG in China. They are currently working on a mobile version as well to complement the PC version, and they will be editing a little. Like, they're gonna get rid of blood. It's gonna be like green blood instead of red blood. But who cares? Like, I really don't think the Chinese government cares about green blood over blue blood. What they really care about is a Chinese company making money off the sale of this foreign product. That's what China cares about.
I think your conspiracy has merit, because really this position of the Chinese government was like parroted for quite a bit on like Bloomberg and all these other big media websites. And very quickly now, Tencent secures the publishing rights to a game in a genre which was, shat against by the Chinese government. They're basically saying companies shouldn't develop these kinds of games. And we're not hearing that anymore after Tencent got the license.
Exactly.
It's about money. Tencent got the government to say what they wanted to hear. And Tencent is a $500 billion company, guys. Tencent is as big as like Amazon, as Google, as Microsoft. It's one of the biggest companies in the world, all right? If anyone's got pull, it's Tencent in China.
Definitely.
And they're doing a PUBG Mobile in China as well. Maybe that'll come to America, but we don't know.
Yeah, this was definitely like a shakedown by the government and Tencent in cahoots with each other.
Have you seen that that PUBG clone in mobile in America yet?
No. Link to that.
Take a look at this game. Look at the video. It's called Rules of Survival.
Rules.
Let me know what you think.
Wow.
It's a mobile game,
right.
And it's by Netease, the second biggest game company in China. Big Tencent competitor.
All right.
There's a ranking system as well in the game. You do solo, duos, or squads, and even like that lobby kind of reminds you of PUBG, doesn't it?
Even the lobby, like I'm seeing the lobby, it's so funny.
It's actually remarkable how shameless Chinese companies are when it comes to cloning and ripping off games.
This is a propeller plane. It's totally different than the plane in PUBG, all right?
Different technology on the plane, all right? Completely different game.
Even the island looks so similar. It's so funny.
The map too.
Yeah.
Like it's still remarkable how much Chinese companies rip off Western games. I mean, not Western. PUBG is developed by Bluehole, a Korean game. It does look halfway between PUBG and Fortnite.
Yeah.
And this game's pretty popular right now in America. Again, this is available in English right now if you want to play.
This is
if you just search Rules of Survival, you'll find it.
For mobile, I gotta say, this looks really good.
Do you know what's throwing me off though?
What's throwing you off?
On the actual on the actual page for the game, for Rules of Survival, it says like absolutely fair gameplay. Absolute fair play in massive HD map. This is their screenshot that appears on the actual page for the game on Google Play. When you have to call your game absolute fair play, I feel like, is it really fair if they're saying it's absolute fair? I mean, they're really going out of their way to say, we're definitely not pay to win, guys. I swear to God, we ain't pay to win. I feel like there's going to be some pay to win stuff in there. The fact that it's Chinese makes you think that as well.
I think what they're trying to... maybe. But I think what they're trying to say is, since it's a mobile game, it's kind of assumed that it's pay to win, right?
Yeah.
So I think what they're trying to say is, like, you can't spend money for like in-game advantage, which I don't know if it's true or not, but I actually didn't find that too offensive because I do think in mobile today, the assumption is it's pay to win, and then if it's not pay to win, you gotta announce it. You gotta like make people aware of that.
I'm just curious if it actually isn't going to be pay to win. I have not played it yet. I do want to do a first look for it because I've played a lot of PUBG, and the video actually makes the game look kind of good. And there's 120 players in the map as well, which is again more than PUBG.
You know what's funny to me as I'm watching this is so similar. Obviously the graphics are worse, but they're not that much worse. That we're so close to parity with PC and mobile. It's sad. Like in graphics.
Oh yeah,
it's really sad. I don't know.
There's no doubt. The mobile games like are getting visually better and better. And honestly, I think the most successful PC games and stuff, and like they're not visual masterpieces. Games like the biggest games on PC are like League of Legends, Dota, CS:GO. Like these are not like hyper realistic games. I mean, CS:GO is probably the best looking of those titles. But like I play Battle Right a lot, and I've been playing. I have over 60 hours of Battle Right now. I've been playing quite a bit these last few weeks, and it's not trying to be beautiful graphics. And my friend mentioned earlier, like, what would make Battle Right great would be if it was on mobile. Like Battle Right today could exist on mobile. I think. I don't think is like that game with some good tweaks to the UI, it could run perfectly on mobile, and that could expand the game's player base a lot. Maybe one day we'll go cross-platform mobile.
Yeah,
there's no reason that game can't exist on mobile.
You're right. The graphics definitely can. I wonder what engine it's on. Do you think it's Unity or something?
Let me check. Rules of engagement? I'm not sure.
Battle Right.
I don't know.
No, we don't have it. We don't have it listed. It kind of looks like Unity to me, but I don't.
It's Unity. It's Unity.
Oh, it is Unity. Okay, so we got to update our.
Battle Right page. Maybe mention it's Unity.
You know what? Let me.
Unity's powering more and more stuff now.
Yeah, it is. People kind of shit on Unity. I feel. Even what's his name? Jim Sterling.
Yeah.
Has a video where he shits on Unity. I just
why?
I think he to his credit though, he's kind of fair. He says if you have the free version of Unity, when you open the game, it says powered by Unity.
Yeah, no, it's annoying. I've seen in a lot of.
So the problem is the shittiest Unity games are the only ones that advertise that they're Unity. Like the good Unity games never actually say they're Unity because if you pay for Unity, you can
show that splash screen.
Yeah. Okay. So with that said though, I really don't think Unity is a bad engine. I think it's a great engine. I would encourage you guys out there who are perhaps thinking of being game developers, designers, to learn Unity. It's a beautiful.
Honestly, on that front too, it's worth mentioning. Anyone that's actually interested in game design, game development, I mean, just go download Unity right now or Unreal Engine 4. These are there's free versions of both, and it's fun to play around with them. Look at tutorials on how to make games on there, and you're not going to make any masterpieces, obviously, but like. They're only like marginally more complex than like RPG Maker and stuff. And by marginally, I mean a lot more complex, but you can make a pretty simple game on there. There are tutorials to make match 3 games on Unreal Engine 3, Unreal Engine 4 rather, and basic games on Unity. So if you're actually passionate about game design, making games, don't like go buy some bullshit courses. Don't like just download the software. It's free and just mess around with it. I mean that's the way people learn things. Like a lot of people learn Photoshop through just dicking around in Photoshop. Go dick around in Unity or Unreal Engine 4 and just learn some shit.
Indeed. Learn and teach me after you learn.
I say that because I just downloaded Unity the other day. I'm in my phase where I downloaded it. I'm gonna dick around with it and give up after a couple hours. But it's always a fun phase to go through where you download Unity or Unreal and just fuck around with it and then give up.
I had that.
Hopefully, I'll make something this time.
I've had that phase with Linux, with Photoshop, Unreal. I don't think I've actually tried Unity, but maybe that's next on the list.
So out of curiosity, have you been playing anything this last week? We didn't go over that really. I've been playing a shit ton of Battle Right myself.
Okay, I actually started a new Ultima Online private server.
Oh god, we're going down this rabbit hole again.
Yeah, this is old school. I'm gonna see if there's any. Let's see. It's a remake kind of Angel Island private server. If that means anything to anyone. But basically, it's a private server of old classic style Ultima Online, so 2D graphics. I don't know how far I'm going to play. I'm playing with a friend. Omar, you're invited. I don't know if you want to play with us, though.
I've been macroing my character as well.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know. I this is kind of the problem that MMORPGs have, where one of the main reasons I'm not playing a current MMORPG is because there are private servers for the old one I enjoy. So the market is so fragmented, where let's say this didn't exist, right? I'd be forced to play a current one, which in some way would be better for the industry. But I'm just stuck playing this one. I don't know what to say.
I think again that so many people are stuck with old games, and again, this shows you why vanilla WoW server, classic WoW server, got such big excitement. Everyone wants to play vanilla WoW. I'm kind of amazed that there is no classic Ultima Online official server yet, because I mean, if you follow the Ultima Online development scene, there's been like so many big private servers that are classic. So why is there an official classic server yet?
You know what? That's a really good point. Why is there no official Ultima Online private server? You know what's funny though? Ultima Online, the official server, is adding a free-to-play version. Did you know that?
Yes, it's coming. I think 2018 or something. We put the news up on MMOs.com earlier.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
But look, you gotta look. Games like EverQuest are still staying relevant because of their vanilla servers. Again, their progression servers are the most popular servers. Old school RuneScape is more popular than regular RuneScape. I think classic World of Warcraft will be more popular than any single realm on regular World of Warcraft. There's such a big demand for these classic servers that even Ragnarok Restart, if you look on Steam, like when that launched, it was unbelievably busy. And there's been private servers left and right for Ragnarok Online. So why is this official server getting so popular? People want to play on an official server where there's stability and continuity. They want to relive those old memories. The nostalgia is strong. If I'm confident if EA made a Ultima Online Classic server, I would play there again. I would subscribe to that, actually. I'd be willing to pay for that experience if it's on a big server with thousands of players. The biggest private servers only get like 500 players online at once. Ultima Online is not, a vibrant game anymore. It's kind of died. It's old. But if an official server launched, I'm pretty sure it would have thousands of players concurrent, and I would love to play on that.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny? I feel like there's a meme about this, but like the fringe groups, like communist, like revolutionary groups, they always infight. Like the different revolutionary fronts, and they always fight each other, right? There are literally like 20 different Ultima Online classic private servers that I can list, okay, that have a decent player base. And like you said, if there was one official classic server, I really feel like it'd be very, very big, very vibrant, and I don't know why they don't do it.
They're leaving money on the table. Clearly, the writing's on the wall. If Blizzard is embracing it after all these years of denying it, that's where the money is. And again, it's still kind of sad that so many MMORPGs are still so old. They're still so popular, but like you said, the reason you're not playing a current MMORPG is because you still get the fulfillment from older games. I've been trying to rope you into Final Fantasy 14, but it hasn't been working. But I do really wish you can experience the rating in a current MMORPG. I think the most recent one you played was Star Wars Star Wars Old Republic, which is not that old, but it's still pretty old now. Where you reach like the end game.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, maybe if Ultima Online wasn't there. By the way, guys, I'm gonna resub to WoW when the classic server comes out.
I will too, for sure. I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to stay, but 100% resubbing, just to like relive that experience. I might stay on for a lot longer too.
That'd be fun.
Curious, I'm so curious how well it's going to do, because I have some people are telling me, oh, it's going to die after a week or a month or a year. I'm like, no way. I would bet anything that classic WoW will be the busiest server a year, 2 years after launch. I'm so confident. It might be multiple realms because it'll be so popular.
Yeah. Maybe I'll stream some of it. You guys can watch me level up my priest again.
Mm-hmm.
Alliance priest, by the way. Sorry, Horde.
The problem with Horde in that game for me was there was no cute characters. All right, I played a Blood Elf when Mists of Pandaria came out, and that was the only expansion I played besides a base vanilla game. But other than that, I played human as well on vanilla WoW.
I played a human priest and an undead priest on a different server, but I always preferred Alliance, I should say. I don't know, probably because of my first one. But there it is.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about okay. Did you want to say anything else about loot boxes? I feel like we got distracted from that topic.
I know we were talking about before the podcast. You said something about EA did nothing wrong. Why don't you expand that topic a little bit and absorb some of that internet hate? All right, there's a lot of internet hate out there right now for EA. So just summarize why you think EA did nothing wrong.
Okay,
let's hear it.
Here's what I was trying to say. I feel like EA, undeservedly, got the hate that was built up around loot boxes from all the other companies as well. Okay, so EA just was big enough, I guess, and had the Star Wars license, which is big. So they got like the concentrated hate from all the years of abuse of loot boxes that we've dealt with in all the other companies as well, including a lot of these free to play ones. So that was the point I was making. Okay, that EA didn't do anything that the other companies aren't doing. It's just that because it was mainstream, it was Star Wars, it was all just pointed at them. Would you disagree with that?
That's fair. But again, they put a lot of the content like behind the loot box. I mean, like so much of the progression was behind the loot box, and I think they took that to the next level as well. A lot of games don't put that much behind the RNG loot box. They put like cosmetics and stuff there, and even some gameplay stuff. But when you put everything behind loot boxes, it becomes kind of it might be new territory. Again, a lot of those like you do have the hero collectors on mobile, which are I guess kind of the content as well. But it was kind of a new frontier made for PC game, like traditional real PC games or console games. Outside of mobile, that I think that was what they did was a bit on the extreme end.
Okay. And I think the only reason you're saying it's extreme is because it was the initial $60 purchase. Is that correct?
Yeah, of course.
So if they didn't have that, it'd be fine.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Okay.
It'd be much more fine. That's definitely that's just of it.
Okay. So I think what's gonna happen from here on out, guys, is EA is gonna slowly turn their games into free to play services, and then they're gonna.
There's still so much money in the buy to play. Again, millions of people. If a couple million people buy the game at $60 a pop, that's over $100 million. That's insane money. Very few free to play games in the world break $100 million. Very few. So you can't
But very few games have the same production budget and quality and content.
Yeah, of course. But that's why they charge so much. If they didn't have if Battlefront 2 came out free to play with all the loot boxes as is, right? I don't think they make as much money.
Really?
Anywhere near.
Okay, well,
the 3 million, 4 million, 5 million copies they sell, they're never gonna make up for that in loot boxes. It's so much money up front.
I mean, again, I don't know for sure, but I do know that the EA, one of the executives, had an interview with Bloomberg, and he said he wants to turn all of the sports games into services. So rather than like an annual release of like FIFA, the football one, the hockey one, the basketball one, I don't play any of these, but these kind of games, I think EA will turn all of these into services that last like 5+ years. And
here's the problem. Take a look at the chart I just linked you on. I PM'd it to you. Show the chart on stream as well. It's a pretty interesting look at the spend per player for the top 25 mobile games.
Per player, holy shit!
And I believe this is average revenue per paying user, though. I don't think it's not going to count people that are this average revenue per paying user.
Okay.
So if you guys, it doesn't count free to play users. Anyone that spent at least $1. So anyone that's ever spent money on any of these games, this is the average money they spent. Game of War obviously through the roof, right? $550. You want to look more in the middle of the pack, right in the middle. You see about $50 to $70 to $80, right in that lower middle area.
Okay.
So if you think it from EA's perspective, if they make it purely free to play with their production value, and remember they're losing so much money now because everyone that's buying the game for $60, that's literally everybody. And this chart is only showing you of the spending players. Okay. Plenty of people, most players, if Battlefront 2 is free to play, would spend nothing. Most people spend. It's always like that.
Okay, but
to get 5% conversion is considered amazing.
But here's what you're forgetting. Literally, okay, Battlefront, any EA game, okay, has higher quality than any game on this list.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
I agree.
That's worth considering.
Yeah, of course. But again, when these free-to-play games can break 5% conversion ratios of getting 5% of the players to pay, it's insanely good. So let's assume on this list, maybe the percent of people that are paying is maybe 10% or less. Probably a lot less than 10%. That's an infinite stretch. If 10% of your players are spending $60, or you get 100% of your players to pay $60, and then on top of that you get the mobile money, it doesn't make any sense for them.
No. But
we're not going to get free-to-play Battlefront. It's not going to happen.
Hold up. You're assuming that 10% who pay it's gonna be a smaller percent than 100% who currently pay. But I think if they make Battlefront 2 or 3 or 4, whenever they decide to make it free to play, okay, I think the free to play aspect is gonna vastly, increase the player base, right? And
increase the player base.
And on top of that, the average paying player is gonna be on the higher end of this chart, not the lower end, because the quality of an EA game is way higher.
I don't think the quality matters. Look at Game of War Fire Age. The game has got the shittiest production value. It's a garbage game, and they get $550.
Well, okay. So I mean,
it's not about it's about the genre in the game.
Nothing on this list has any. Okay, besides Hearthstone, actually, which I'm actually kind of surprised Hearthstone is as low as it is.
This is 2015. I'm sure Hearthstone is much higher.
Oh yeah. Okay, exactly. So I do really think that the EA will be at the higher end of this list, not the lower end.
Is Hearthstone even on this list? Am I blind?
It is on this list. It's towards the bottom. It's like the bottom quarter. Not Okay, that helps.
Yeah, I see. So it's $65. So the average in 2015, the average person who spent money on Hearthstone spent $65. Interesting.
On the mobile version.
Yeah.
But I honestly,
But,
I actually think that the hardcore Hearthstone spenders and players are on PC. Even if you start on mobile, I guess let's say you're on the subway and you download Hearthstone, right? And you like it. I think you're gonna be the kind of guy who then goes home and downloads it on PC and spends the majority of his time and money on the PC version. What do you think? Like
I don't know.
Like the mobile is like an introduction, because by the way, that game kind of drains the battery, and it's kind of like
Yeah, of course. I think so too.
And unlike other mobile games on this list, Hearthstone isn't something you can play in like a minute and stop whenever you want, because you're in a ranked game, and you gotta, and if let's say you gotta go to work, right, and you're not done with your match, you're gonna lose if you have to close the phone.
I think you're wrong, actually. We have an old article from 2015. Obviously, we don't. This is a bit outdated, but take a look at this chart. It's from Super Data Research about Hearthstone on PC versus mobile.
Okay.
And it shows mobile revenues are actually higher than PC revenues.
I'd love to see an update of this from.
I would love to see that data chart as well, but I don't think this trend's going to change.
Really?
You think since 2015, don't you think more people are playing games on their phone? They're more comfortable playing games on their phone. I think even 2 years ago, I think the mindset has evolved, and gaming has become even more normal on phones than today versus then. I think mobile makes more money on Hearthstone than PC. Perhaps you could say the average spend per player might be higher on PC, but I think overall Hearthstone mobile is the big money is coming in through mobile.
Yes, because the player base is so much bigger.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking from my perspective, but yeah, you could be right. Like for example, if I'm really like, let's say I'm addicted to Hearthstone, right? Yeah. I would rather play it on my screen while sitting down, relaxing at home, for 8 hours straight than like on my little dingy device. But who knows? People spending $500 on Game of War, so I obviously don't understand humanity anymore. So I could definitely
also with the loot box thing as well and the free to play thing. I know you're not trying to say that loot box should be banned, right? Yeah. I know that's not your argument, but it is a feeling that a lot of people have on Reddit now. There's this universal hatred of loot boxes as like this bullshit system. I know Jim Sterling hates loot boxes as well. There is this hatred of loot boxes, and again, it's not your argument, but I do think if they win, which I don't think they're going to win, obviously, but if they manage to get it banned or they manage to somehow make it sell, I think a lot of people are going to lose. Me personally as well. Again, I don't have an addictive personality, I don't think, but I enjoy the RNG mechanics of loot boxes. Again, like, if you show me I can get 1 of 10 items for my character, or I can roll a loot box and I'll get a random one, I'll get the loot box. One, I don't really give a shit about any of the items, right? But like the sense of maybe getting a rare one is more exciting than just choosing the one I want to buy and then having prices adjust for it. Maybe because I don't weigh the cosmetics as much as other people. I enjoy decent cosmetics, but I don't go crazy for them. When I play League, I play with the default skins personally. I play the game for the game. I mean, one of my friends actually started showing off if you log into your League of Legends account, you can see how much money you spent on skins and stuff, right? Okay. How much money you spent on your entire account.
You can see
I
that.
logged it on mine. You can see it, yeah.
Really? And
all the money you've ever spent.
In the game, in the client?
On LeagueofLegends.com. Okay. On their official website, you log into your account and you can see your total spend.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Mine was $50. I'm surprised mine was even 50, right? Because all I remember buying was rune pages. But I'm sure I've gifted a couple friends one thing here and there. So I spent $50 since I signed up for League. My friend shares their account information over $2,000. So I'm curious how some of my other friends how much they spent.
I'm so surprised that they actually published that because there's sites that like you can put your Steam account name and they tell you the estimated value of your account, right? But it's bullshit because nobody actually pays full price for all their games on this. Okay, I wish Steam would do that too. Like we could see I know Steam, you can see the full list of each purchase individually, but I don't want to add that shit up, and I don't want to add up. I don't want to add up like what I spent on Humble Bundle and like Activated. But if I could see one number of how much I spent on Steam, I'd be really curious in seeing that.
It's cool that League actually gives you that exact spend, and it's official, right, from their website. They track from your dollar transactions to your game card transactions. A lot of people, they get the right points at the GameStop or something. Akizia says probably 2 or 3 Gs. Akizia, I'm gonna give you the link. I want to see the official screenshot from your account. Let's see what it is. I feel people are gonna undersell it. Maybe I spent a couple $100 here and there, and you log in. Oh shit, I spent like $3,000 this game. What the fuck?
Yeah, a lot of people are asking in chat about that option. So if you could drop
I'll show you.
Yeah. Mine is 0, guys. For your information, by the way.
Oh, here's my information, by the way, guys. I just dropped mine on Riot. This was my.
You can like link it.
Yeah, take a look. No. It's logged in. You're not gonna see shit. Hold on. Let me screenshot it. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
That link. I'm not sure if that link will get you to what you need to see, but I mean, I'll screenshot mine right now. I'll drop my link on here. By the way, look at that sick account ID on mine. I got that sick 1163 summoner ID. I have an early account on mine. All right.
Let me tell you guys a story of regret. Okay. So I have a Battle.net account, right?
This link might be good, by the way.
I clicked it. Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you a story though about my Battle.net account. So I have a Battle.net account, right? It was # Atlas and the 4 numbers, and they gave me it says you have a free rename on Battle.net, right? So I renamed myself to Altay, but guess what it did? It gave me a longer string of numbers.
Oh, you lost your account ID.
So I had a 4-number ID. Now it's like 5 or 6. If I knew if I knew that would happen, I wouldn't have changed it.
The good old low ID Steam accounts are worth good money. I remember that shit.
Yeah.
I'm still proud of my summoner ID. You know, I got the 4-digit summoner ID. One of the lowest IDs I know because I played League. You know, when it first came out in the beta.
Yeah.
Actually, I still have a beta screenshot somewhere in here.
I'm sure my account is pretty old too, even though I don't play League. I wonder. Okay, so how do you check this? You had to log in on the website, right?
Yeah, I gave you the link. Somebody dropped a couple links in here as well.
Okay, let me see.
Kizia dropped the link as well. I dropped the link. If you log in there, it'll give you how much your total spend was and what you spent.
When I click on Kizia's link, it just gives me that whole like you must be logged in thing.
Yeah, you gotta log in.
Okay.
How can it know your spend if you don't log in?
All right.
Is that fair? Is that fair?
Let me log in here. Hopefully it stars out my password.
And before you can all hack Altay's password.
Okay, here we go. Oh, what? Why is my summoner ID so? Okay, I must have made a second account.
Your ID sucks.
Yeah, it's like
20 digits.
20 digits. No, there's no, because I definitely made an account at the same time as you. So it's like
maybe I played pretty early into beta. I played pretty darn early.
All right. Just definitely not my first account because this is way too long.
New accounts have probably even more digits than that. So.
Was gonna.
All right,
Oh, okay. So you were talking about how if they ban loot boxes, certain players like you perhaps would lose, right?
Yes, I think there is actually entertainment value to loot boxes as well.
Okay.
That I value more than being able to pick what I want. Like it's a benefit for me.
Okay, I would contest that. I think for most people, the real world, right, is enough of a lottery. You know, like what's gonna happen to your day, what happens to you, like where you end up in life. That a lot of people come to gaming for certainty. Okay, they want to like do a certain thing and they get a certain result. And the fact that gaming and your progress in a game is going to be more and more determined by RNG or by these loot boxes, I think for a lot of people it's not going to be a good positive development.
I mean, again, I agree. I think most people would prefer it without the loot boxes or they can buy what they want. But I do think there are some people that would still lose out. And personally, I don't think anything's going to change at all. I think all this outrage is going to die down.
Really?
Give it like 2-3 weeks. No one's going to talk about it anymore. I do think though.
I think you're wrong.
Be a little bit less, obvious and less forward with what they do though.
I think you're wrong. I think the mobile gaming market evolved so quickly that it was able to dodge regulation. But EA, in bringing it to like a console and PC release, kind of caught the attention of regulators and the broader society. And there, at least in the West, in Europe and America, there will be a clampdown on the loot boxes because of this. Again, I don't want to blame EA. EA is literally just copying what is working on mobile, right? Like Game of War. Game of War, I honestly believe Game of War, Clash of Clans, those games are getting away with murder. Because they kind of flew under the radar. They're so big on phones, but somehow phones are still new enough that they kind of flew under the radar, right? But now the EA brought it to like mainstream attention. But
there's no loot boxes there.
And where?
In Game of War.
I know. I'm talking about the whole gambling and paying money.
But is it gambling now? I don't think you can argue. I do want to say Game of War is a much bigger like drain on society in terms of like just literally sucking money away from people. Like again, I think a fool their money will be a part anyway.
Yeah, it's a scam.
I don't want to call it a scam. I don't want to call it a scam.
Game of War is a scam.
It's honestly one of the worst games I've seen, and the business model is shit. But people are willingly paying money to play this game.
All
And
scams are willing.
There's no RNG
All
mechanic.
scams are willing, by the way.
Of course.
Okay. So,
Sure.
Okay.
But people are getting exactly what they pay for. There's no like when you get scammed, you don't get what you pay for.
You used to
People
do.
are getting.
Oh,
No,
if I sell you knives and I tell you if you can resell these knives or sign new people up.
but you don't tell me that you can. I mean, you tell me I'm gonna sell you these knives. You're gonna resell them for double the money. Everyone's done it. It's easy. You'll be a millionaire. Go look at this Ferrari I'm driving.
Yeah.
I show you that all this.
Yeah.
My
You will.
fancy lifestyle.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
But no, that doesn't happen because
It does.
I'm gonna ask you: is it easy to sell the knives? Of course, it's easy. They sell themselves.
Yeah.
You go door to door. You sell these knives. You'll be rich.
Yeah.
And I try going door to door. No one wants to buy my shitty knives. It's not the same. That's a scam. I didn't get what was built, and there's regret there. People that spend money on Game of War,
yeah, they regret
they
it.
get what they pay for.
No.
And I would.
They
most
regret
people,
it.
there's no regret.
There is a lot of regret because once
think so.
I think people initially imagine you don't play games all day since you're a kid, right? Like we do. I think if Game of War is the first game you encounter, right? You kind of you get under the spell. Like, okay, you're building your little base, you're building your soldiers, right? And then someone attacks you and kills everything. And it says, hey, you can pay money to speed this up. For like a week or a month, okay, you're under a spell where literally you will spend whatever you can because you're so intensely. It's like your first MMO, okay? Your first MMO. Imagine how amazing it felt, right? How immersed you were. You played it all day. You didn't go to the bathroom. You didn't take a shit, right? Whatever. A lot of people are under that spell when they play Game of War. Now, during that month, they spend all their money. But I really believe that once that spell is broken, in a month or two or whatever, they do regret it.
Some people, I think most people don't. Some people, you're right, they will have that regret afterwards. But how do you regulate a game like Game of War then? Because I think we could both agree that these are, again, piece of shit games that people are blowing their money on. But the thing is, people are willingly blowing their money on it.
Okay.
So, do you think they should be regulated in some way, Game of War or Clash of Clans?
I mean, sure. By the way, there's a lot of real life scams that are still legal, like Herbalife. Okay, so
Dude, that's not a scam, dude. They tried to shut that down. I don't know. It's sketchy.
Hold on. Any Herbalife is a scam. Okay, that's my definition. Okay, so if you don't think Herbalife is a scam, I'm not really interested in like arguing it with you, or anyone out there in chat. Like, Herbalife is an obvious scam. The same way these mobile games are a scam. So regulation doesn't necessarily mean banning something. So again, I'm not for, like you said, I'm not.
Herbalife is regulated though.
Well, I mean, I guess we need a little more regulation.
Video games are regulated as well as a whole. Like you can't
I guess we need more regulation, more in depth. But again,
yeah, go ahead.
Moving it towards more regulation doesn't necessarily mean moving it all the way to the right and banning it. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I don't. But all the arguments we talked about corrupting the minds of youth and gambling is not a part of Game of War. Is not a part of Clash of Clans. Those games don't have RNG mechanics. They're very clear with what you're paying for.
Yeah,
like you're paying for these gems in the game that let you build stuff faster. You know, that's what you're paying for. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, I get. I didn't call loot boxes scams. They're gambling. They're not scams. They're gambling.
Right, so what is Game of War? You call Game of War a scam. I want to know why Game of War is a scam. What mechanic in this game or Clash of Clans is a scam?
Because it puts you in a state of mind that you're normally not in, where you think paying this, you think the value you think you're getting, once the spell is broken, you realize you're not getting that value. Okay, so it's
can't you make that argument that every restaurant's a scam? When you're in a restaurant, you got a nice atmosphere, there's music, there's a menu in front of you, there's a waiter serving you food. I bought a $50 steak and afterwards I regret it. I ate my steak and I regret it now. Do I get a refund? Is that how it works? Is that a scam?
I mean, restaurants could be scams, but the fact
I don't know. You're stretching this definition.
If you go to a really imagine you go to a really shitty restaurant, like they serve McDonald's food, but like they put it on a plate, okay, instead of cardboard boxes, and they charge you like $20, $50 for it, and they call it like à la jour or like French names. Yeah, it's a scam. Even if you pay for it and enjoy it, and then later someone tells you, hey, by the way, you just paid $50 for McDonald's food on a plate instead of a cardboard box.
But there's deception involved. You didn't know you were getting McDonald's food.
I mean, they never told you what they were serving you.
But when you go to a restaurant, there's implied that they buy a steak, they cook it for you, they prepare it for you in a certain way. There's expectation there.
What is there? No. Yes. A lot of food is microwaved. Sure. It's shitty restaurants. It's not like there's no expectation as a steak. I mean, I don't know what you're.
Depends on what restaurant you go to, what you pay. There is an expectation. Yeah.
What?
Again, when you're dealing with something like fraud. Okay. It's not always specifically written down. It's consumer expectations, right?
Yeah, exactly. Expectations.
I don't think the consumer. I think when in a Game of War or Clash of Clans, when somebody spends $10,000, they get exactly what they want. Like there was no, they got exactly what they expected. There was no like deception at all. No. You're being Game of War comes to you. You are Erhan Altay, supreme dictator of America, who writes all the laws. I want to be as honest as possible with their customers. All right?
Mhm.
How can I do it beyond what they're already doing?
Look,
You
all
can
I
tell them
know.
to shut their game down. Is that what you're going to tell them?
No.
What? What can they do more to make
Look,
it more obvious what
again,
they're selling?
Perhaps next week I can give you a more clear explanation because I'm just thinking of this on the spot. But my point was, a key mark of a scammer, okay, or hustler, or someone, okay, or huckster, is they put you under a spell. Okay, you kind of believe their narrative, okay, of value, of what's important, of what's great, okay. So a lot of these games, they put you in that zone, okay.
So salesmen are scammers too.
Salesmen,
When you go to any retail store, it's a scam. The store is trying to make you buy stuff, right? When a store puts something on sale, right? Which like, oh, it's 10% off. They put me under a spell. It's a scam.
hold up.
Your definition of scam is unbelievably loose.
No.
What I'm trying to say.
And scams are loose. Imagine a salesman, like a used car salesman, okay, is like, well, this car is usually 40,000, okay, but since I like you, since you're a great guy, and I know you're struggling, I'm gonna give it to you for 30,000, okay. But imagine from the beginning the price was 30,000, and he's just bullshitting about the 40,000 one. He's scamming you, just because you know what I'm saying. Yeah, a scam can be very broad. There's many kinds of scams, but if
There's more to it.
if he
I
tricks
don't think
you,
it's fair.
if he makes you think that the car is worth 40,000, but all along, if you just walked in and didn't even bargain, it was 30,000, right? And then he makes you think you got him. Like, all right, you wore me down. You're so good. You're so smart. Just for you, 30,000, and you say yes. And the whole and someone else just walks in and says, "How much for that car? 30,000." Okay, he scammed you.
Why'd you get scammed?
Well,
You both paid the same price. Who got scammed?
because
In fact, you had the enjoyment of bargaining with him. Maybe that was value to you.
No.
How you scammed?
because you were okay. Because he
If
sold
two people agree on a consensual product like that and they get what they wanted, how is it a scam?
because you're under his spell. It's like a cult leader. A cult can put you under.
Can you please define scam for me? Because I feel like you're using a very nebulous word, and you feel like it happens to whatever you want it to be at a certain time. Can you clearly define the word scam for me? 'Cause
Okay.
I don't think what you describe as a scam or the game of war is a scam.
Let me think about it more in depth.
Okay.
And then I'll get back to you.
But remember, this spell thing doesn't make any sense either, because if
I
you
know.
go to a store and something's on sale, oh, they put me under a spell. I thought it was on sale, but like, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter, dude. You got what you paid for, and
Well,
most of the time,
by the
nobody
way,
feels scammed.
getting what you paid for is not like doesn't mean you didn't get scammed. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Everyone got what they paid. Herbalife.
If I go to Macy's and buy a
Hold up.
T-shirt, did I get scammed?
Hold up. If you go to Herbalife, okay, and you buy protein
my
powder,
God.
okay, and they tell you, look, if you manage to sell this protein powder for double what we charge you, you'll make X money. They're not lying to you. It's just that you can't sell it for double because nobody wants that shit. It's still a
That's not the
scam.
same thing.
It's a scam.
Because Herbalife presents that as a business opportunity where you could be a millionaire, and they show you these videos of guys
Exactly.
racing Ferraris.
So they're being dishonest with this narrative, right? Just
Yes,
sales.
there's no dishonesty with the narrative in the game before. You're buying fucking bullshit in the game that makes you stronger, and they're very clear about that.
Alright.
There's no dishonesty.
Okay,
It's
you're
pure. They're as honest as they can be.
Okay. Well, I gotta get back to you with the exact way that.
Definition of scam.
But-
Because I don't think it's a scam.
No.
I think the games are awful. If you want to be dumb and spend your money on Game of War, God bless your heart.
Oh.
If you get enjoyment out of it, go for it.
Sure. And by the way, not all scams are gonna be always illegal. I mean, I get that. Like, I think
I don't think it's a scam. Period.
Okay, I do, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
I think you're stretching your definition of foolishness to include scam. What you would think is foolish is a scam now.
Okay. I don't want to dwell on it too much here.
Yeah.
It's one of those I know it when I see it situations for now. You know, like my gut is telling me that's a scam.
Fair. Any mobile games for you, Altay? Have you tried
Yes.
Animal Crossing yet?
I have downloaded.
Talk a little about Animal Crossing. I actually have never played it. I downloaded it, but I have not touched it yet.
Okay, so
It's a big one.
if you guys have played Animal Crossing, I know where you and I played the GameCube one a lot.
Mhm.
The difference is it's not one persistent like town, so the zones, okay, which for me kind of breaks the illusion. So what I mean by that is, in Animal Crossing, like the original ones, you kind of walking around doing your own thing, and you might come across like a rare bug. You might decide to catch a fish when you were walking down the river when you weren't really thinking about it. Whereas in the mobile version, you go to specific locations with specific things in mind. So like there's like a fishing zone, right? There's a bug catching zone. There's like a fruit tree zone.
Okay. Yeah, it's like
So
cut up like that.
Yeah. So it's cut up. So basically, there's a rotation. So you open the app, you start, on the leftmost zone, let's say. You catch all the fish. You go to the next zone, you gather all the fruit. You go to the next zone, you catch all the bugs. And everything is a timer. So like when you gather fruit, as soon as you're done gathering the fruit, there's a 3-hour timer above the fruit tree. Okay? But you can pay to instantly get the fruit again. So
there's a countdown. You can pass that countdown if you pay.
Exactly. And then
So they got the Game of War model going. Geniuses.
yes. I think actually Ars Technica had a really scathing review of the game, and it said Nintendo should be ashamed of themselves because they're kind of doing this bait and switch on kids. Because obviously Animal Crossing, I'm playing the trailer. People like us who grew up playing Animal Crossing obviously still like it, but the visual style is obviously inclusive of a young audience, right? And there's even that whole Clash of Clans Game of War building thing. So you can build one piece of furniture for free at a time, right? But after a while, the furniture takes a few hours to build, right? And if you want a second slot,
Second queue?
Second queue, you gotta pay.
Geniuses.
Yeah,
Geniuses.
I mean, it's probably gonna work out for them in terms of money. But it didn't catch me the same way that the GameCube version did because of not even the paying part. Because I don't mind that, honestly. Because like you said, I think I'm a pretty disciplined person, and I wouldn't pay for it, right? I would just play for free. But the whole fact that there was an instant zone for each activity kind of diminished it for me.
Seeing the way you described it, it just seems like they're going to make so much money on it.
Yeah.
I am so confident. And look, honestly, just take a look at this stock chart for Nintendo, all right? By the way, I'm a very, very content shareholder of Nintendo. And I made like 40% of my investment this year on Nintendo alone. And
wow,
it feels good. I made lots of money on Nintendo this year. It's one of my biggest positions as well. And this shit just keeps going up. And the way you described it, I know they're going to make so much money off Animal Crossing because they're taking the tried and true model of the paying for the extra queues, the city building management, and paying to skip the queues. They're going to make mega moolah off of this.
Yeah, it's been a good year in the market. Thank you, Mr. President Trump.
He tweets about that every day, right? The economy's doing great because of him.
I follow those tweets quite a lot. I would say Animal Crossing. If you haven't downloaded it, it's worth. You know what? It is better.
Is it a scam? Is it a scam?
No.
Why? Don't those colors mesmerize you? They put you in this weird zone where you want to get that second queue of furniture. The countdown's going. You want to catch the next bug. Are you under a spell? How is that not a scam? But Game of War is a scam.
Okay, here's why. Because you're not under pressure. Because in Game of War and literally a million other copies of that, like going back to the browser game days, right? Of like Ebony. But the trick they always do is they give you 7 days where you can't be attacked, right?
Yeah.
And so you invest all this time in your town, right? You kind of you make an emotional attachment to your town, to your village, to your growth. And on the 7th day, it literally all gets knocked down because you get raided, right? Everything gets destroyed.
Yeah.
And their hope is, and their plan is, and intent matters in scams. Like you could pitch somebody an idea and it doesn't work out. Like, okay, I want to open a restaurant, right? And I'll give me some money. I'll sell hamburgers. And if I can't make it, I go bankrupt. It's not necessarily a scam. But if my goal from the beginning was to get you to give me money and then I just take it and I never try to make a restaurant, it's a scam. So same way with this.
The goal of every business is to get your money. Okay, that's the goal. How they get it is up to them.
No. Then
yes.
you just legalize scams then.
No. The goal of every business is to get you to buy their products, goods, or services.
Okay,
that's the goal. Money and profit is the motivator for every video game, every business, everything.
Okay, but how
goal.
You do it can be a scam or not. Okay.
Yeah, of course. I agree. How you do it.
Yes. So they specifically planned. Okay, the goal of that 7-day grace period is so that on the 7th day, after investing all this emotional energy, all your shit gets destroyed, and then that if you pay money, you can get it all back like fast. Like that is their goal from the beginning.
But is it not the goal of like a video game demo to kind of lure you into the game, right? You play the demo for free, and the game is fucking amazing. They made that demo with the fucking TIE fighters flying around, fucking explosions and shit. They show the best parts of the game in a demo or a trailer, right? To get you hyped for the game, so you spend money. That's their goal. That was their intent, to build up to this moment where they want you to buy the game.
But
is that not a scam?
There's a difference between sampling the product. Okay, like imagine like a demo for a game that you can try.
They're sampling the product. They sample the product in your safe space in the 7 days where you can't be attacked.
No.
That's a fiesta.
Okay, remember, intent is important. If I'm driving a car and I don't see somebody and I hit them, okay, and kill them, right?
Yeah.
I don't get charged for murder.
I know.
Now,
Yeah.
if you see somebody and you drive into them, you do get charged with murder. Okay, if that was your intent. So again, if my intent is to give you a sample of my product.
No,
okay?
no. Your intent is to make the best possible sample. But if you want to make a sample of your product, you have to get the good parts and the bad parts, right? But that's not the case. Demos focus on just delivering the best experiences to get you to buy the game.
Okay.
How is that any different?
Here's why.
The sampling of the 7 days.
I will explain because
Okay.
the point of the 7-day grace period, the point of it from the developer's perspective is not to sample the game. The point is to get people.
Neither is the 7 day. Neither is the demo.
Let me finish. The point is to get people emotionally invested, into something that at the end of the trial period gets immediately taken away from them, and then they're presented with pay us money to get it back. It's kind of like the spyware you get, where it's like the FBI shut down your computer, send money here and to unlock your computer. It's like emotional.
Send Bitcoins here. You mean that's
yeah?
What they do.
It's like emotional hostage taking. That's what they're doing.
But that's not the case. If the game was designed so after the 7 days, like the company itself attacked your base, right? So it was like a pre-scripted event. You're right. There's some weird intent right there. But that's not the case. In fact, they tell you when you first launch the game that normally this is a PvP game. Anyone can attack your town. Or there's a 7-day grace window that you have, like protection. They explained that in the tutorial, right? Mm-hmm. So I would argue that it's as equal, or if not, maybe it's more. It's less dangerous or less. It's more deceptive than a demo. Demos are intentionally showing you cool parts of the game to get you to buy the game. So I don't think they're doing anything different than a demo.
I mean, demos.
If you want to label both a scam, that's fine. That's fair. But I don't think you're being consistent.
I mean, demos can also be deceptive in different ways. Like, for example, when you said demo, the first thing I thought of was the Final Fantasy VII demo that we played as kids, and that was literally the first hour of the game. It was not deceptive at all. Mm-hmm. So you're right. Demos could be deceptive, but then that.
But what part of this 7? Remember, I think you're mischaracterizing the way Game of War and Clash of Clans work. There is no scripted event at 7 days where you lose unless you pay. That's not the case.
It's not scripted.
They explain the rules at the beginning of the game through a narrated tutorial and how it works. And very often after the thing goes away, you won't be attacked right away sometimes. So you might go days without being attacked, but then you will be attacked eventually in an open PvP world where you're kind of at a disadvantage. I don't think they're doing anything dishonest. I think the game is still shit. I wouldn't play it, and I recommend you don't play it either. But I don't think they're being dishonest. I don't think it's a scam.
I think it's a scam.
They give you exactly what you asked for. There's no. I feel like for something to be a scam, it must be a deception. There is no deception.
Hold up. Currently in America, Herbalife is legal. It's a publicly traded company. Okay, they're operating legally. There's lots of people, but I would still say it's a scam. But they're obviously following the laws because they're not getting shut down yet. So yes, you're right. There are degrees of scams. They're obviously skirting.
I can see the dishonesty in Herbalife and the deceptivity. You have yet to point out where the deception lies in any of these games you're calling a scam. That's where we disagree on what's happening.
I mean, I thought I described it. Basically, they're basically using emotional blackmail on you.
They're telling you what they're doing before they do it, and the game launches.
Nobody reads that though.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
nobody
I think they do.
No, they don't.
It's pretty clear.
No,
if you play. Most people that play Game of War, they've played maybe another one of those shitty browser games. They know what they're getting into. I don't think there's any deception, and people are willingly spending money and knowing what they're getting into. And I would argue, if I could find any stats that show 9% people have no regret, would that revise your statement?
Yes, if you could show me that a great majority of people who spend significant sums,
any money.
No. If you spend $10 on a game, obviously you don't regret it, regardless of.
So let's say I went gambling, all right? I lost $100. You asked, do I regret it? Yeah, I regret it because I lost. But if I won, I don't regret it. I mean, would they get scammed?
No. Okay, here's what I mean. I've ordered things on Amazon before, 10 years ago, before Amazon was as big as it is today, right? I remember I ordered an SD card, on Amazon. It never came. It just straight up never shipped, right? And I actually filed a return, a refund, right? And they said okay, you gotta email us, do this, and then we're gonna refund you. I just didn't do it. Because it was $5. I just decided it wasn't worth my time to deal with it, right?
Sure.
Okay. So just because someone doesn't complain doesn't mean.
Regret in and of itself is not a scam.
I get that.
If I blow some money, I eat a pizza, I regret. Did I get scammed?
If you can
I regret eating all that pizza.
If you can find me some studies about people who spend hundreds of dollars, let's say 500 plus on Game of War, and they don't regret it, and it's a majority of people who spend 500 plus. Okay, that would help me revise my position. Okay,
Again, regret does not mean scam. Again, I regret eating pizza, right? If I eat the whole pizza, an extra large pie by myself, 3,000 calories, I regret it, right? Did I get scammed?
Why do you regret it?
Because it's unhealthy and I shouldn't have done it.
Do you feel bad?
And it's clearly the pizza company's fault because it was so fucking delicious, right?
If
fucking Papa John's making this top-notch pizza and shit and making me, I got scammed, right?
Oh,
we need some laws to protect people like me, right? I get scammed by eating pizza.
If they tell you it's gonna be healthy and make you feel great.
No. It was just did the game tell me it was gonna be healthy? You know, the game.
I'm just saying.
There's no promises.
I'm just saying it depends on the context. That's what I'm trying to say.
Your criteria cannot be regret because again, I can regret eating pizza and the pizza company didn't scam me.
The criteria is not only
you were putting this really weird.
No. Criteria is not the only right. Again, I will formulate a more coherent thought on this.
I think you've labeled this game a scam, and now you're trying to find out ways to make it a scam.
Yes, exactly. When I saw a game before, I know the games like Ebony. I played Ebony. I played all these games. It just snaps as a scam. Now, if I have to analyze it and describe it, it will take a little more time.
I think you'll take a lot of time because I don't think you're gonna get a coherent definition of scam that includes Game of War and Herbalife in the same way.
I think
and not include demos and not include other things.
Oh, I think it is very doable. All right, so we'll
have to find out for next week on that one. I'm coming back to you on that because I don't think you are accurately portraying what scams are.
Let me cool things down here with a funny picture someone posted on our Discord. This is Overwatch characters, but with a Maple Story skin.
That is amazing! Holy shit, I love it.
Isn't that cute?
That is adorable.
Yeah, I love the little soldier guy in the bottom left there.
That is amazing. It's A+. It's Maple Story, but Overwatch.
All right, how about you, Mark? Have you played anything besides Battlerite and Final Fantasy?
I did my weekly research in Final Fantasy. I played Battlerite. I played a bit of Dota 2 custom maps, which have been a lot of fun actually. And
really?
It kind of goes back to our discussion last week about balance and how imbalanced things can be fun. So I played custom maps on Dota 2. These are maps made by other players. So if you play Warcraft 3 customs or StarCraft 2 customs, it's of the same nature. And I played this map called it's a Russian map. It's something in Brizma. It's like the 4th most played map on Dota 2 right now. 4th or 8th on the most played list, and it's literally the most imbalanced, nonsensical game in the world. Maybe we can play around in the post game, but like
I would love that.
It's unbelievably ridiculous, but it was so fun because it was imbalanced. Like the fact it was imbalanced made it fun. And again, it's really something else. Maybe you'll maybe go to the post game and you'll see it there, but because we might be running out of time anyway.
Yeah, actually, we're right on the edge here, guys. And I do want to play this custom. I haven't played Dota 2 custom games since the feature initially launched, and there were very few pickings back then. So I'm curious to know if the quality and quantity has been improved since then. So with that said, guys, we're gonna move on to the post game. So if you're watching on YouTube, do check us out live. We had a very fun pregame today, and hopefully a fun post game as well. So check us live next time. Any last thoughts?
I don't know. Later for YouTube. We'll see you guys next week on that. And for everyone else, stay with us for the post game.
Yep. All right. Stop recording.